The land of Israel was dry and lifeless. For 3 long years, not a single drop of rain had fallen. Crops withered, rivers turned to dust, and the people suffered in silence. This was not a random drought, it was God's judgment. A nation that once worshipped the living God had bowed down to Baal, the false god of storms. But in the middle of this rebellion stood one man, Elijah, the prophet of the Most High. Fearless, fiery, and unshaken. He stood against King Ahab and Queen Jezebel, who had filled Israel with idols. When Elijah appeared before Ahab, the king spat in anger, calling him a troubler of Israel. But Elijah replied, I am not the troubler. You and your father's house are, for you have abandoned the Lord and followed Baal. Then Elijah challenged the false prophets to a divine showdown. He declared, Let's meet on Mount Carmel. Let the true God answer by fire. The people gathered in awe, filling the mountain from end to end. 450 prophets of Baal stood on one side, while Elijah stood alone on the other. The air was tense. Elijah's voice rang out, How long will you waver between 2 opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. The crowd was silent. Then the challenge began. The prophets of Baal built their altar, placed their sacrifice and called on their God. From morning till evening they cried out, O Baal, answer us. They danced wildly, shouted, and cut themselves until blood streamed down their arms. But there was no voice, no fire, no God. Their cries faded into silence. Elijah stepped forward and mocked them. Shout louder. Maybe your God is asleep or traveling. The prophets screamed until exhaustion silenced them completely. The people began to realize Baal was powerless. Then Elijah called everyone closer. He rebuilt the altar of the Lord with 12 stones, one for each tribe of Israel. He placed the wood, the sacrifice, and then said something no one expected. Pour water on it. They obeyed. Once, twice, 3 times until the altar was drenched and the trench overflowed. Every eye was on him. Elijah lifted his hands toward heaven and prayed, O Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known this day that you are God in Israel. In an instant, the sky tore open. A flash of divine fire roared down from heaven, consuming the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water in the trench. The ground shook. The crowd screamed and fell to their knees crying, The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God. The prophets of Baal trembled in fear. Their lies were exposed, their power destroyed. That day, God's fire burned brighter than any false hope Israel had ever known. The people turned back to Him and the drought began to end. When God shows up, there is no rival, no equal. Only power, glory, and truth that cannot be denied. If this story stirred your faith, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more powerful Bible stories that will strengthen your spirit and ignite your heart. Stay tuned, more divine encounters are coming.